Well, it's the next morning. Packed up the tent, loaded up, and was sitting here going through GoPro footage, and my helmet mic had quit working, so none of the videos through the helmet has sound. Sort of disgusting, because I did a lot. I don't know how I'm going to edit that out. I have no idea. So this video is going to suck, be warned. Alright, I don't know if you can hear me because I got the GoPro mic. The external mic's unplugged because it messed up. But here in Mate 1, there's a whole lot of history here. Not counting the Hatfield and McCoy feud. But in 1920, in the early 20s, all these places around, all these little coal camps were, I guess, homes that were owned by the mine owners, and they paid the miners with scripts, which is more or less like an IOU. It's like they were indebted to them. Everything that they had got from company stores, and they stayed in the coal camps houses owned by the coal companies. So that they were trying to, hold on, that picture right there is Sid Hatfield. It's Sid Hatfield and Ed Chambers. Well, the coal companies had sent some detectives, which was, they call them detectives, but they were like private police for the coal owners. And they sent them down in here from Bluefield, West Virginia, to evict some people who they thought were causing trouble and trying to organize a union, which they were. So they came in and they evicted some families in a nearby coal camp, just threw their belongings out in the street and kicked them out. Well, the locals and the other people in the coal camps didn't like that at all, so they stood up against them. And the two hired men from the coal company they left the store over here and was walking back to the train depot to catch a train back to Bluefield, and Sid Hatfield, the chief of police, and the mayor and some more locals ended up being in a big gun battle. And I think 10 people died there that day, and including the mayor here. Well, Sid was charged with murder and had to go stand trial, and it was another nearby town, and it was sometime later, I think in 1921, and then the detectives shot him and killed him, and that set it off. So all the miners, most of the miners around all this area gathered together, thousands of them, and the mine owners, I think it was Stone Mountain Coal Company, they hired their militia, and it was the biggest battle in U.S. soil other than the Civil War. They say thousands were killed. I don't know. But that took place on Blair Mountain, which isn't too far from here. Just a lot of history, a lot of history. right now I'm headed to Devil Anse's cemetery, the Hatfield Cemetery. We're pretty far in from the Tug River. This is after the Hatfields moved from the Tug River in deeper into West Virginia, and this is where they settled finally. So just keep looking for it. Oh, and I really wish I had my helmet mic working. You know, I could not waste time and talk as I go, but oh well. Look at the raspberries. Right up there on top of that hill is the Hatfield Cemetery. I'm going to come back to this. I want to see if I can find his actual home site. Maybe there'll be a marker or something. This is Sara Ann, West Virginia. All right, I couldn't find the home site, and there's no phone signal here to give me any clues, but this is the Hatfield Family Cemetery. Let's go check it out. Oh man, it is steep. With 20-pound boots on. These are headstones. So many unmarked graves. John T. and Nancy B. Vance. Here's John C. Hatfield. Devil Anse. I read down there that that statue was imported from Italy, and a guy was telling me that they wanted this statue with his back toward Kentucky. There's graves all over this place. Up in the woods. There's some. Over there. And they're still going. Down in there's more. Wow. So this is where he's buried. And they do it high on a mountain. After the raid on Randall McCoy's cabin on Blackberry Creek, Bad Frank Phillips and his posse was taken off after everybody with warrants from Kentucky. Devil Anse and the family moved from the Tug River back deeper into West Virginia to avoid, being caught and defend themselves. The governor of West Virginia and the governor of Kentucky urged the Hatfield and McCoys to separate further and further. There's this whole mountainside is just, well, it is a cemetery, but man. These West Virginia mountains are tough. They're steep, real narrow valleys or hollows. I'm from the mountains, but not like these. All right, I'm going to leave here and head back down to the Tug, and we'll follow the Tug River down to the home site of the Hatfields when they lived there during the battle, and head on out and try to find Bad Frank's grave. And look at these mountains. I mean, they're just steep, They're just a little, I didn't even call it a valley, not even a hollow. It's gorgeous though. It's real hazy and cloudy. I wish it wasn't, so you could see a lot more. You can hear me. Right now I'm back down parallel in the Tug River again. I'm going to go find Hatfield's Homesite down here. This is Grapevine Creek and Devil Anse Drive. So the Hatfield home place was up here. And they're strip mining in there, and they won't let me go in. They said that there's nothing there anyway. There's no signs whatsoever. It's all been stripped out. So that sort of sucks, but anyway, he lived up in there, up in this holler, and this is where the final battle of the feud took place, the Battle of Grapevine Creek. That's when Bad Frank and his posse came from Kentucky with warrants to bring the Hatfields to justice for the burning of the cabin, the McCoy cabin, and killing his kids and beating his wife to death, half to death. this was it. I'm looking how things are laid out. If Devil Anse lived here, when I went down the other side of the Tug River, I think I might have been maybe a mile or two further south, and that's where Aunt Betty's place was. So they're all really close. Like the guy at McCoy's house said, with everybody's within an 8-mile radius. I would fly the drone up right here and take a look, but I don't know, I'm afraid people up here will shoot it down. Anyway, it's cool. Keep on going down the road. This town is, I didn't even come a half a mile. This is Edgerton. And I'm right back at the Kentucky line. I'll cross the river right here. Nancy McCoy Lane. Now I'm back into Kentucky. There's the Tug. Well, I was talking to a local here in Edgerton, and he's a Hatfield. And like some others, he said that the whole feud was because of Perry Klein, but I don't know. Anyway, just back up this way is Aunt Betty's. And across that mountain there takes you right up to Blackberry Creek, where McCoy's house was. So this area of Edgerton was like the meeting spot on this side of the Tug. Everything centrally surrounds this area right here for the feud and where they lived. All right, now I'm gonna go find Bad Frank's grave. Back in that town in Phelps asked me if I saw that movie Wrong Turn, and I'm like, no. And he said, well, when you go up to the Phillips Cemetery, you're going to think that you took that wrong turn. And that made me think, this ain't too good. All right, let's go. about this. Made it to Frank and Nancy's grave, and that guy who said this was like taking a wrong turn, he's dead right. Man, this is like an ambush waiting to happen. And I have no comments about coming up through that. Frank Phillips was instrumental in the capture of the Hatfield family and allies involved in the 1882 shooting death of 3 McCoy brothers. In '88, Governor Buckner appointed Phillips, former deputy sheriff, as special envoy to arrest and indict Hatfields hiding in West Virginia. And if I'm reading that right, can't be. Will Gibso. No, it's Will Gibson. But the end's backwards. Died 1909 something. Unless that's a 1, 1919 maybe. Wow. Frank Phillips, 1881 to 1898. Nancy McCoy Phillips. Nancy McCoy was the youngest daughter of Asa Harmon McCoy, the first man killed in the feud. Despite the feud, at age 15, she married Jonesy Hatfield, son of Anderson Hatfield. Although they lived in West Virginia, she later returned to Kentucky and married Frank Phillips. Had 12 kids. She died at the age of 36 too. Well, I don't like being up in here, so I'm gonna get out of here. All right, I'm gonna head back down out of here, but but I'm going to film this again. Maybe I just didn't see things like I thought I did. Well, taking a little break here before I head back into East Tennessee, but that Hatfield McCoy feud, that West Virginia area is something else. You know, strongly advise you to go up in there, follow the feud, and if you're into the side-by-side and ATV things, those 6 counties in West Virginia, and I heard Kentucky's starting to get on board, made trails through all of those mountains. You know, you can ride through places where otherwise you can't, you know, so yeah, I strongly recommend it. Again, I apologize for the mic issue. I don't know how I'm going to edit this thing because half of the footage has no sound, but I'll see what I can do. Hopefully they ain't completely trashed. So, but all right, thanks for watching. Later.